Welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the midweek technical analysis. I'm Mr. Levels, aka Pips, aka Hop, aka It's Up There. You know. So, without further ado, let me jump into this disclaimer first. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this call is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Cool beans. Now that I've gotten that out the way, let's get into the midweek technical analysis. So I told you guys in the beginning of the week analysis that if we broke above this volume imbalance and closed above it, that I did expect us to continue bullish for the week. Um, Being that we um ran that yearly high Monday, broke and closed above it. I told you guys that once we seen the break and close above this volume in this daily volume imbalance that I did expect us to push higher. Reaching for this next buy side liquidity here where these next two buy side liquidity levels, right? And potentially reaching up into this daily fair value gap that we see identified here, right? So as you can see from Monday, we did get that break and close of that daily volume imbalance, right? Found support, did not break back below Friday's buy side liquidity, nor did we come back down into Monday's price range, right? So Tuesday and today we were bullish, very aggressive today, right? So with Thursday being or having the tendency to be a reversal day, right? I am expecting price to pull back down into today's discount PD arrays, right? So that's what I'm expecting. We could see that happen, overnight throughout the rest of Asian markets and going into London. If we're going to break below these levels, right? Um, I would like to see that um happening. I would like to see us building up to that throughout the rest of Asian markets and going into London markets, right? So I would like to see price making its way down to these levels, right? And maybe around 8:30 going into the AM New York opening bell, we start to see some aggressive price action to break below these levels if we're going to come back down and fill in this little daily fair value gap that we have here and possibly come back down to retest the high of this volume imbalance. Um, to close the week. That's what I will be paying attention to, right? For the bearish confirmations. But if we do come down into these PD array levels throughout the rest of Asian markets and going into London, and we find support on these levels, meaning the bodies are respecting these levels and refusing to break and close below them, then I will expect the dollar to push higher off of these levels, reaching up for this next buy side liquidity here. I don't know why I skipped over that. No, you can't do no skipping pips. Mr. Levels. Come on now. So that'll be the next level. I would expect price to run if we do find support off of the daily discount PD array level, right? But for the most part, I've been on side with my weekly analysis, right? I called did see bullish in the beginning of the week. I said my bias was bullish. I expected on Monday. I did anticipate us to pull back Monday, right? I wanted to see us pull down lower into Friday's price range, right? But we didn't get that. We just been up one way. We just been one way this week, and that's up. So that's why I'm especially um expecting a pullback tomorrow, right? As I said, Thursdays tend to be reversal days. So let's see if we get that reversal down into the discount PD arrays for today's price range. Let's look at currencies. For currencies, I told you guys Monday, right, that I wanted to see us run that yearly low. Go back and look at the beginning of the week analysis. I told you guys that since the dollar had ran its yearly high, right, and we know that Euro USD is inversely correlated with the dollar, meaning it moves in the opposite direction of the dollar. It does the opposite of what the dollar is doing. I told you guys that since we had ran that yearly high for the dollar, I expected us to run our yearly low for Euro USD. As you guys can see, we're right there at that yearly low. That lower level here is that yearly low. We literally came within um about about 45 pips away from that yearly low. So I'm sorry, 5 pips. We came about 5 pips away from that yearly low. And I do expect us to pull back up into today's premium PD array. And see um I'm I'm thinking that we're gonna find resistance there and go ahead and come back down to run the yearly low, right? No way we come this close to the yearly low. The dollar runs its yearly high and we don't run the yearly low on Euro USD. Now we could just run straight down through this. Um we do have this imbalance to the downside, right? Price could want to reach for that. But for the most part, I'm anticipating price pulling back up to the premium PD array for today's price range. But we did get our bearish move out of currencies to start the week as expected earlier in the week. So same thing with um GBP USD. We've been one way down since the beginning of the week. Created this SIBI here as coined by the mentor Michael Huddleston. Um, Daily SIBI, fair value gap that we have there. So I'm expecting GBP USD to give us some pullback up into the premium PD arrays for today's price range. And if we find support there, then I expect us to continue to the downside to reach down into this uh daily volume imbalance that we see here to the downside. So that's what I'm expecting out of the pound. Looking at NZD USD, same thing. I expect us to pull back up into the daily PD array from today's price range, find resistance, and continue to push down to run daily and sell side liquidity. Daily and weekly sell side liquidity, right? That's what I'm expecting out of NZD USD. If we do slam through, if we break below the 79% weekly PD array level, right? If we break below that aggressively and close below it, then I will expect price to go ahead and run that daily and weekly sell side liquidity to the downside without giving us that pullback up into the daily premium PD arrays. So just be observant on what price action does throughout the rest of Asian markets and going into London, and be prepared for the New York market tomorrow. Looking at ES, right, S&P 500 futures. I'm expecting price to continue to the downside, going with order flow, right? I'm not going to fight against this trend. I wanted to see us pull back up into the daily PD array levels from last Thursday, Monday. We did not get that pullback up above the monthly sell side liquidity that I wanted to see, nor did we run Friday's buy side liquidity, right, that I wanted to see. That sits right on top of that, sits right there with that monthly sell side liquidity. I told you guys that I first wanted to see us run that, break above it and close above it in order for us to get up to those premium PD arrays, right? And possibly the weekly premium array. We didn't get that Monday. So I told you guys Monday night in class that I wanted to see us continue to the downside. And these were our targets over here. This BISI as coined by Michael Huddleston, and this little imbalance right here as well, right? And we can see that that's where we closed today. We closed right at this fair value gap here between this candle's high and this candle's low. I took the mark off of it because it was just too much bunched up right there together. So going forward, I do expect us to go lower down into this daily fair value gap, right? This is also a daily inversion fair value gap, so I'm expecting a big reaction to this level once we get down here. Now, that's not to say that price might not reach back up to run weekly sell side liquidity, right? That we just broke through, and possibly buy side liquidity from Tuesdays and on Mondays price action, right? We could see price weak up there before it slams down into the area. So we'll just have to see how price plays out throughout the rest of Asian markets tonight, and what price does for London opening and throughout London session, right? But my bias is going to continue to be to the downside until we get to this area and price gives us some kind of confirmation what it wants to do from here, right? If we do break above the weekly sell side liquidity, right, that we slammed below yesterday, then depending on how aggressively we break above it, well, I'll say this: in order for my bias to turn back bullish, we'll have to get back above the monthly sell side liquidity. How about that? I'm bearish until we break aggressively above the monthly sell side liquidity and close above it. And that's when my bias would shift back to bullish, right? So same thing with NQ. Same thing. I expect us to continue to the downside to fill in this BISI as coined by the mentor, Michael Huddleston. And My bias will be bearish until we can break back above Monday and Friday's buy side liquidity. We break above Monday and Fridays, Tuesday and Mondays buy side liquidity, break above it aggressively, then I will expect us to run up into the premium weekly PD arrays that you see here, the 62 and 79% levels that you see here. So that's what I'm expecting for the rest of the week. That will conclude the midweek technical analysis. As always, I hope that this added some added perspective to your already um, technical analysis that you should already have mapped out and planned out for the week. But I just hope that this helped you add some added confirmation to your analysis, or gave you some more insight, or just added some kind of value to your trading week and your trading journey. Because we're all on this journey together. We're all trying to master these markets together. But once we get out there in these market streets, it's every man for himself. So don't come out there lacking and slacking. You better come out there strapped and ready to go. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, coming out, getting this knowledge and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they still here, please. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know.